Hey guys, welcome back to another... Nope. Hey guys, welcome back to another stream. Did not transition for some reason. Oh man, I'm so tired. I got a video out today though, guys. After working hard, editing all the way until 4 in the morning. Finally got a video done. It's out. If you'd like to go watch it. I guess I should do like the classic thing. Like I pinned my video in my thing. Let me see. Where's my video? Video posting. Copy link. If you would care to watch my video at all, watch my new video. Add an exclamation mark to pretend like I'm excited. Yeah, I don't know. It's there. It's just me reacting. It's my first reaction to Ludwig's first class. It's my reaction to Ludwig's first class. But you know, you don't really have to watch it. Let's go and say hello to everyone in chat. Hello, Avantav Guard. Congratulations on being first. Hello, Point Nab. This man never gets styling right. Wait, what do you mean? What's wrong? What's wrong with my styling? It looks okay to me. Am I crazy? Content baby. Yep. We're finally back on that content train. So we will not be reacting to a Streamer U class today, by the way, because there's not that, I don't have that much time before I need to head out, and I want to make sure I properly do Point Nab's redeem. We're playing Of the Devil today, which is a redeem that Point Nab has done. Capitalization is part of styling. Here's a list of games I've played. Yeah, what's wrong with my capitalization? I don't understand. What? It looks fine. What? I don't get it. But yeah, so we want to make sure, I want to make sure I'm properly doing his rename and giving him enough time. So we're probably just gonna jump straight into the game, and then we're gonna have to end a little sooner than later because I have a dinner at 6. Let me see how long it takes me to drive to this place. My friend just sent me his address. Allow paste. So it's gonna take me about 16 minutes to drive there. I need gas. I also need to make a stop before then. So I kind of have a lot I need to do. Ooh, I don't think there's anywhere to stop buy gas on the way though that I'd like. Let me see. That is over there. Probably not gonna get gas today, I guess. But I just want to make a stop before that. So yeah, we'll see what we do. So if it takes at least 20 minutes to drive there, and I need to be there by 6, I think is what I said. Let's see. Let's plan dinner 6. So if I need to be there by 6, can't pin over on YouTube. Oh, thank you for that point up. Wait, really can't pin? That's kind of sad. What's the point of being a moderator? So if I needed to be there by 6, end by 5:30, but I need to stop there. So like end 5:15-ish, I guess, will be the goal. It's currently 2 to 5. It will only be 3 hours. Ooh. Yeah, let's just get started on the game. We don't have that much time to go. I'm opening it up right now. So based on what I know, it seems like this is a episodic Ace Attorney style visual novel. Don't really know too much about it, but pause the music. Hence why I was playing Ace Attorney music right now, but also this has weird camera settings. I hate that. Let me try to grab the game. There we go. Oh, I also need audio. 1 second. Sorry. Gotta make sure it's routing to the correct channels. The less I know going in, the better. I see. I always do like games like that. All right. This is a work of fiction. This art style reminds me of something, but I can't put my finger on what exactly. Please not full screen. I hate when games start in full screen. Like, give me full screen window any day. We can do this. Graphics ultra's probably high, I'd assume. Target FPS, use screen refresh rates. Skip mode, read only. I think this is all fine. Text reveal speed, we want as fast as possible. Text auto weight, I don't know what that means. The audio volumes seem fine. I think everything looks fine. All right, I think we're ready to start. Let me make sure everything's good on this end. Got to... Okay, there we go. Auto wait is how long it pauses. Oh, okay, I see. So it shouldn't be doing that anyway, so it should be fine. By episode 1 and 2. Okay, so this game is not fully out, by the way. Point Abbott has wanted me to play this game, even it's not completed state for whatever reason. So we'll be playing episode 0. If time allots it, we'll probably buy episode 1 and play episode 1 too. But we'll do as much as we can. Rain sizzles off neon above me. The summer showers creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street, and a slight blunting of the night's ambiance. Emphasis on slight. Lights, cameras, and constant noise. You guarantee I will not finish episode 1 before you need to leave? Well, I'm sure, but it's like, I'm sure I'll finish episode 0. Oh, wait, no. Is this episode 1 or episode 0? This is episode 0, right? Like, I'm sure I'll finish episode 0. So, like, I'll have spare time, and we'll just be in the middle. Yeah. The city's got insomnia, with the uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the second-hand nervous energy of it all, but I'm plenty acclimated. A little loud. Okay, I think this is good. I'm gonna raise it a little more. Okay, I think this is good. Just a wave of worries cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides a microdose of nightlife, anxiety suits my mood just fine. Because if I'm not careful, this client of mine's going to die in jail. So I'm gonna be an A's attorney and get them out, right? So am I Morgan or is Morgan my client? Morgan, criminal attorney. Oh, I am gonna Ace attorney them away from jail. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. But by the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Because this whole world's lit up, mapped out, never unknown, and always online. Whether it's incandescent or neon or hollow, whether it's LCD, LED, or just the nearest phone screen, there's a light shining on every last pixel of the map. And someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity, anonymity is scarce, and criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. So you take whatever clients you can get. You don't balk at the public defender work, no matter the hour. Okay, I'm stumbling over my words. We need to start doing some vocal exercise for our stream, guys. Jeez, oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. You should find yourself in one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world. Well, smoke them if you got them. Not there's much else I can do until... Counselor, your public defender contract has been approved. You are expected at 254th Precinct. Present your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early. Oh, is it the 15 minutes early? I swear. I'll try. Heart. Yes, the heart really suits her. Looks like the paperwork came through. It's nearly 3:15 now. 90 minutes since I took the job. Probably makes it about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. If they're really smart, they'll have used that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are going to get busy. Of the Devil, Episode 0. And he shall appear. Disable tutorials. No, don't disable. Enable tutorials. I need to know how to play the game. Suspect, hashtag not found. Precinct 254. If you're experiencing an emergency, please use... It's a goddamn ghost town with nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. I'm here about a homicide, high clearance rates be damned. You'd think they treat it with a little more gravitas. It's Ace Attorney, like you're sure I'd figure it out? Should I turn off the tutorials? But whatever. If I'm that unimportant, they've got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. And I should take my time. Information's like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. And if you're flat broke, no one will give a shit what you have to say. So let's see if I can poke around and shake some change loose. Press the phone button or tap the phone icon top left to access. Yep, okay. Toggle auto vent, blah, blah, blah. Look around for points of interest, check. You'll earn credit for investigating anything and everything you can. Credits both measure information gathering skills and your own credibility, so don't go broke. Okay. The medium's cracked in the corner. Looks bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. Could probably null the warranty on one of these things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken. At least, entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. Looks like the usual 1-to-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia you always get served at state buildings. But there's a few missing persons too. 1 year silver plan coverage, courtesy of Caduceus. As a reward for any... Silver's no joke. Family must be getting desperate. An actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. Though museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. This homicide department's more like an attic. Hard to believe that they're ever so busy that they had witnesses making IDs in the lobby. Then again, it's hard to believe they're ever doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Did you know that during traumatic events, memory formation is blah blah blah. Poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel, and all during billable hours. But there's no room to sow doubt anymore. Now when a modded witness can submit their testimony as a video recording. It's the age of technology. Assuming their phone did not automatically file a police report for them. High traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishing, multiple screening stations, pragmatic brutalism, so textbook you could teach freshman level architecture. You can almost hear the building drone on and on about concrete and iron and hard right angles, the civil planning equivalent of battle scars from a fight won so long ago that they're starting to look ridiculous. I'm sure it was all very imposing back when it was built, but walking in here now with crime rates where they are feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. A data pad? Well... I'll bite. Even when they're more advertisement than article, they can still be informative. But then if you're rich enough, you can pay for the services that circumvent all of that. Maybe not in this society. In a flowery, roundabout corporate propaganda sort of way. Keep an eye out for articles in the environment. They offer insight on the world around you and credit towards your investigation. Articles are added to your phone's reading list after you first read them. Choose the proper takeaway after reading them and you'll be earning additional bonus credit too. Oh, no, there's so much reading. No. Okay. Subway fixes axe. City to refocus on canopy. Declaring the... Also, welcome to stream, Hannah. Declaring the subway tunnels to be irreparably flooded, city engineers announced this week that all plans to drain and repair the systems were being suspended indefinitely. Saltwater damage to sensitive electronic cabling and erosion of key tunnel fixtures were cited as reasons for why 89% of the subway system was evaluated as critically compromised or worse. Civil engineering efforts will be refocused on maintenance and expansion of the hybrid super infrastructure system that weaves together trams, highways, walkways, and skyscrapers into the canopy high above our city streets. Do I want to know secret? I don't know. Do I want to know secret? The perfect replacement for your audiobook. Great. Reactions to the announcement could be characterized as blasé. It's been years since the subways last ran, and decades since they last ran on schedule. Most citizens have long since given up hope on them ever making a comeback. Online chatter barely reacted to the announcement, with most commenters and voters' attention focused instead on growing investigations into Councilman Long's campaign finance irregularities. We can close the article, see what the choices are for the takeaway, then reopen the article for the phone, check what it said. Ballsy of them, putting the paywall there, as if I had reached for my wallet after having to read a word like aesthetical. Besides, I got the gist of it. The takeaway is that the city will be focusing its efforts on the canopy. There'll be increased scrutiny surrounding the canopy now that there's no plan B. It's a massive project with a massive budget. It lines the pockets of a lot of people, big and small. None of them would appreciate bad press at the moment, not when the councilman Long's already thoroughly chummed the waters. Alright, I've taken in all the scenery and learned as much as I can here. Time to get checked in. It booted up fine, so far so good. Good morning! Morgan, here for the public defender contact. Could you please provide your name? And great, please stand still for a moment. I wouldn't call intake hollows charming, more like harmless. But that's probably what designers are aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in their tech, so long as it never speaks out a turd. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth? So far, so good, was it? Just scan my face. Didn't you scan my face as soon as I walked in here? Yes. So don't you already know who I am? Yes. So the only reason you're asking is to see if I'll lie? Impersonating an officer at the court of the court is a felony. Thank you for remaining vigilant. Say, when why don't you scan my ID card? Great. Now could you just confirm your date of birth for me? Why do they even bother asking? My birthday's on the damn ID card and my profile. I'd have to be world-class airhead to get this question wrong. December 26th. Puzzles, smoking, wooden furniture. Commercials, hairdressers, jogging. Can fall asleep in any position. They like their coffee decaf. Their drink is a whiskey sour, okay? I got 5 credits. Oh gosh, I'm not reading all this. Oh gosh. Oh jeez. Oh no. Holy. Is a whiskey sour actually sour? Not really. I've had a whiskey sour. I don't remember it notably being that sour. No problem. My birthday's December 26th. Perfect. Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival. I'm taking on this public defender contract. If you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to counseling corridor 3C. Is that what we're calling it now? I gotta read what if it's important? Sucks to suck. Sucks to suck. I hate reading all these excessive articles and information. You mean the interrogation room? I'm sorry to have caused any confusion. Our vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards. What about chat's context? Guess you'll have to play the game yourself. Don't sweat it. I can't keep track of every new euphemism either. They could call it the involuntary wellness check room if they like. Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel sitting in a stifled box of one-way panels. Nothing to see but their own reflection dully warped across gunmetal walls. Morgan, counselor, can I help you with anything else? Choices that progress the story forward will cause other options to shrink away when selected. Choices that will take the conversation down side paths and before returning to this point will not. Because the article you read earlier, you've unlocked an additional choice in this dialogue. Read and examine and every opportunity to build up your knowledge and get the most out of every conversation. Okay, fine, we'll finish reading stuff. Oh, it wants me to read everything. Okay. I'm gonna go fast for the reading of side readings. Oh my gosh. Online chatter. Let's see. Investigation account along with finance irregularities. As one of the Canopy's major backers in City Hall, has often found himself at odds with a small but vocal group of critics that consider it to be an eyesore, an amplifier of light and noise pollution. With Long having stepped away from his political duties in order to more fully cooperate with investigators for the first time in nearly 20 years, the typical rock-steady political foundation of the Canopy was looking uncharacteristically shaky going into this week. Now, with subways officially no longer an option, people and corporations alike have little choice about how they complete their morning commutes. However, not all reactions to the news have been negative. At least a few bold individuals see this latest report as vindication and possibly even a rallying cry. Already considered by many to have rising star in infrastructure solutions abroad, tech startup Subterra made headlines last year with their radical proposal for a system of personal submarine taxi pods that can make use of flooded subway tunnels. The momentum stalled for their first prototype for the city came in at this point 3,359% over budget. Though one council member was quoted as calling their system mind-bogglingly wasteful and practical in the extreme, in the light of this latest announcement, Subterra has probably declared their intent to resubmit their proposal package. Across the entire globe, coastal cities like ours have struggled to find civil engineering answers to rising sea levels and subterranean flooding that satisfy financial, practical, and aesthetical concerns. Historically, most scientists have attributed this increase in sea level to climate change, though there are dissenting voices. Global warming has occurred in this world. Also, there's been quite a few references to aesthetical things. Like Morgan was talking about it. It's talking about aesthetical concerns here. Water rises and falls on all the time for reasons we do not fully understand. Are we too? And then it appears you have 0 free articles remaining this month. Please verify your account information in order to continue reading the stories that matter. Okay, let's quickly look at the terms. Conductive resin. Though it outwardly resembles plastic or glass, conductive resin is actually an electromagnetic polymer used in the wide variety of stationary or portable devices, where its unique properties allow it to activate a display and a processor, enabling ultra-thin or even transparent electronics. There are upwards of 100 different patented varieties of conductive resin, each intended for different use cases, industries, and environments, but they are all fairly lightweight and fragile except for a small handful formulated for military and security applications. Because of its widespread use in high turnover products such as data pads, smartphones, producers of conductive resin are frequently accused of engineering obsolescence. What is this word? Engineered obsolescence by consumer rights groups, though these claims have never been proven before in court. Screen cracked, schedule fix here. So basically everything's made of this conductive resin. Terms feel like a more lore and set dressing, but sometimes knowing these things is helpful. The lightweight and portable electronic devices known as datapads have no significant internal storage capabilities and can only display what is streamed from local networks. Originally marketed as a replacement for ecological wasteful newspapers, magazines, and flyers, datapads quickly became infamous for the difficulty and expense involved in recycling them once their limited lifetime components expired. It wasn't until they were rebranded as ideal for privacy and security that datapads found success in the private and public sectors, where their abilities to display location-locked content help the corporations minimize data leaks, give their advertising target geographic relevance. Today, datapads are a mainstay of high-traffic public spaces and virtual physical hybrid workspaces, despite remaining unpopular with most environmentalists and bibliophiles. I don't know what that is. So it seems like there's now electronic newspapers. They aren't so much phones because they don't seem to store data. Well, maybe they are, but enabled by specialized projectors or mediums like conductive resin, holograms are graphic displays that appear three-dimensional to the human eye when faced from any part of the face range as at least 180 degree, an effect known as the Waterston illusion phenomenon. I don't know what I just read. Originally patented in the late 2059, Waterston's phenomenon was initially used exclusively in the adult entertainment industry. Oh, holograms did not become widely adopted as an advertising tool until the much maligned holiday season of 2061, after which laws restricting the presence of holograms in public spaces were passed with uncharacteristically universal support. I'm sorry to see that you've installed subroutine on this device and disable and highlight our recommended premium external links. We understand your drive for personalization, but our unauthorized tech impacts our ability to serve you the best, most relevant information possible. Consider disabling your subroutines so we can serve you with a more tailored browsing experience. Oh my gosh. Engineer obsolescence of the things that things are designed to fall after a fixed amount of time. Fail after a fixed amount of time. Bibliophile is a book lover. English grade F. Fair enough. Why the disrepair? I know the city's not terribly concerned with the lower wars, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty? This facility is currently undergoing renovations. Since when? The 60s? It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated. They really don't see a lot of action around here, do they? I'm sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered. I'm adaptable. What about you? Are they ever gonna fix that crack? Thank you for asking. It has not interfered with my work. Well, that's all that matters, right? What was the log? What was the original question? Can you help me with anything else? What are you? What are you? I'm a smart user interface, proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I could send you a link with information about our subscription packages. Should I send you a link with information about our subscription packages? No, sorry. That was a mean question to ask. That'll be all, thank you. You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office, through the door to your right. Thanks. But I think it's just me for now, so you can go on break if you'd like. Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan counselor. Then what were you doing before I walked in? You'll find the counseling quarters passed through the door to the right. Thank you. Ads don't get breaks, and they don't get my jokes. But it's usually the humorless types that are the most fun to mess with anyway. You expect nothing less from the people who don't read. Exactly. I'm just living up to the standards. Eyes gone bad or something. A voice. No, voices coming from down the hall. Compared to yours? Probably. Thank God I stopped for directions. A building this empty, the desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. One voice sounds older, rougher, and decidedly low energy. Appreciate you worrying about me. Good, I try to be serious. While the other rings with youthful indignation. Not like our jobs are important or anything. Definitely cops. At this precinct, at this hour, they might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. Because why else would you bother to print all that out? One document, or 100, looks the same on the data pad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need to have a heavy file in hand. Makes them think you know them better than their priest, their mother, their big brother? I wasn't going to say that. So how many of those sheets were blank then? No red carpet tonight, officers. Oh, good. Sorry about that, man. So we don't. Let me imagine a voice for this guy real. We don't keep many extra hands around these hours. Probably faster to let the desk handle and take anyway. But mostly cheaper. You the lawyer? I am. Morgan Esquire. Pleased to meet you. Same here, counselor. Quasm London. And the ball of sunshine here is my partner, Farah Reyes. Ball of sunshine? She certainly is. Ha! Sorry if you were kept waiting. Chatter between the departments has been hectic all night. It's no trouble. Give me time to enjoy my cigarette. Cigarette? Like tobacco? What are you, 80? She can't be more than a few years younger than me. We're, the detectives in charge of this particular case. And it looks like tonight, we're also your humble guides to the illustrious homicide department. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs. Pretty sure I've seen this London character around the courthouses before. He never struck me as more than just some old-timer. But I suppose being an old-timer is an accomplishment in and of itself in his profession. Sunshine is definitely a new face, though. Rigid in her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shirt still looks ironed. Freshly promoted, maybe. 2 whole detectives working at these hours sounds serious. Unless you were the first to arrive on the scene. No, we're not nearly that timely. Uniforms responded to the emergency calls within a few minutes. Calls, plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Look around. Do you think we're the first to arrive for anything? She's not wrong. We were only tapped after circumstances at the scene and were indicated involvement with an ongoing investigation. Our ongoing investigation. Not very subtle, is she? But I might as well buy it at this point. So you suspect that this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity? Wait, did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put it on a public defender's briefing. Look, consider a little professional courtesy, a fair warning, yeah? That's the heartbreak killer in that room. And we got that bastard dead to rights, so if you're kind, you'll help him plead it out. And if you're smart, you'll pass this shitstorm on some other night owl and go back to bed. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. So perhaps in the meantime, you'd be so polite as to fill me in about this heartbreak killer. They cover utilities at the rock you live under? Is there a problem? You're seriously not familiar with HK. Never heard of them. I've heard enough of them for a lifetime. The name has been plastered all over the city for weeks, their crimes wavering between breaking news and urban legend. Their presumed goals flip-flopping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. At street corners, on the media, on the net, everyone's indulging in the exact same kind of armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. But right now I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or don't know. And when it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. I take it he's a repeat offender? Was it the killer part that tipped you off? You must have at least heard about his MO. Media's gone crazy with it, along with everyone else. One bullet, straight to the heart. Body left alive when it falls. Hence the name Heartbreak. Not exactly creative, but amidst the swirl of every other 100-word article out there, catchiness trumps originality. True! What you won't read about online is that all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun, even without needing to reload. How do you know if they need to reload or not? Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? That's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Oh, I see it. Okay, never mind. They're saying he's only shot us 1 shot, 1 kill, literally. Got it. Hitting the bullseye at the shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that? It's a whole different beast. Takes a certain kind of monster, a real freak. His pulse probably didn't even rise. I see. Sounds robotic. You almost make him sound like a machine. Is it possible that... No, it is not. There's no such thing as killer robots, madam. This is an AI-integrated society where robots can do no harm. That means robots can definitely commit crimes, and we're gonna find out during this game. Of course, my mistake. So all those androids marching in the military, those robots patrolling in police uniforms, those drones dropping firebombs from the sky. I guess they're all firing blanks. Fair enough. Machines can kill, and they have been for decades, but they don't commit murder. Right. Evil like Heartbreak is all organic. That's pretty terrifying thoughts. I should really start paying more attention to the news. How I managed to miss 6 murders. Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5. Pardon? You still not getting it. HK's sixth victim was found a few hours ago when we caught that son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is this Heartbreak killer and tonight was just his latest crime. That's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. I take it you have serious evidence to back that up. I was being literal, counselor. Red-handed when we found your client. He was covered in her blood. Well... that's not good, is it? What you say certainly sounds compelling. Is that lawyer talk for open and shut? But even if that's the case, how does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all there in the discovery files and the arcs, of course. Join the local net on your phone and we'll turn over everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. But if it's all the same, could I ask you some questions while I've got you here? The hell kind of attorney wants to interrogate the detectives? This kind of attorney, you're just that pleasant. Come on, sunshine. Not like we're gonna be punching out anytime soon, right? Whatever. Let your clients do an interrogation all night for all I care. You mean the counseling quarters? We're at your disposal, counselor. Barren, stark, and uninviting. This must be Reyes' desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable, but I can't spot a single mode of personalization. Is she so knows she hasn't had time to unpack, or is she really that uptight and boring? Both, maybe. Loose wires, missing panels, an air conditioner system that probably is supposed to sweat more than the people it's supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making an office not look like shit, huh? I expected to find a lot of belt-tightening and homicide, but I didn't think their operation would be this bare bones. They've got stunning clearance rate and they work fast, because the city sees that and they assumes their job is easy. Maybe their job is easy, with our dear doting surveillance state eliminating so much of the footwork. But if your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms greased, so homicide ends up as the only state department with shrinking budgets. A dumping grounds where the police force is most unambitious and least popular. shouldn't have cleaned up so much just for a little old me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce this guy to a filing system, or even a stapler. Paper documents scattered about lazily alongside actual photographs. Either he's really old-fashioned or really paranoid about data leaks. And he doesn't look like the paranoid type. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper. I'll give him that. Latest Noble androids receive warm welcome. Okay, let's just see. He's in the news again. It's no wonder. Can't spit it without landing on a piece of noble tech these days, especially not when the states evolve. Don't know if they'll bite when it comes to warm androids, though. For government use, they've just... Okay, so I'm not going to bother reading the terms, I guess. Hopefully I won't really need those. Bolstered by strong earnings, reported surging sales of the Animate 16. Noble Electronics stock rose 23% this week to be record high. Noble later acceleration is set to surpass the sheer popularity of his predecessors. Increased profit margin has left Noble's shareholders very enthused. Many investors were skeptical when their new infamous 2084 trade convention. Noble announced the 16 line would be a first generation of androids to feature over 50% organic components, so-called warm androids, which at the time only saw demand in the health, senior, and childcare sectors, were looked upon as impractical due to increased maintenance cost cuts, scratches, bruises, and the like. While some critics voiced concerns for fringe religious or traditionalist groups might find warm androids controversial, more business-focused minds feared Noble was alienating customers in industrial and military sectors in order to cater civilian consumers users that view their androids from across the room, and not from above the factory floor. Oh, hello, Noah, welcome to the stream. Warm androids, huh? Yeah, warm androids. However, as often has been the case in the last decade, Noble's doubters have proven wrong. The Anime 16 is poised to break profitability records, and with no signs of slowing down, many industry analysts predict that these will run to where organic androids will completely replace their more robotic predecessors in daily life within the next 3 to 5 years. As described in the earnings report, much of the 16th line's success, and indeed their success of Noble's androids in general, can be attributed to the remarkable, lifelike, personable charm of their products, and by all accounts of the charm can be attributed to the work of the Noble's famed lead programmer, Dr. David Asher. I'm live early. I have dinner plans, so we gotta stream early. Also, usually on the weekends I like streaming in the afternoons because then I like having evening plans. Something Detroit Becomes Human. Lead programmer is the understatement of the century, said Noble brand ambassador Lucy Dees on the stage of their latest #Noble the Noble Industry Weekend. It's because of this Turing solution that every Noble product, from the sleekest assistants to the most advanced intensive care technicians, are so beloved and one trusted by our customers. Oh, hello, Stamina. Open stream. What was I reading? While his reputation was on full display at the event, Dr. Asher himself was nowhere to be seen. He's always reclusive, but he's proven genuine and hermit in the recent years. I really can believe he's still looks like you're not locked in. Okay, got it. AD adds automated dependence catch-all term for encompassing robots, intelligent programs, interactive holograms, androids. Present digitally, physically in every industry, nation, planet, assisting everything from data legend, labor, mid-21st century. It pushed through new tax classifications to find intelligent machines that were neither salaried employees nor equipment because of affordable tax breaks and lighter tariffs. The term became so commonly used that it spread to all branches of the robotics industry, from the point which it began to penetrate into everyday speech and culture. Sociologists argue that the term owes its popularity not simply to its brevity and prevalence, but its ability to draw a distinction between the commonplace and the internationally illegal artificial intelligences. Wait, internationally illegal? Searching for this account flag. Oh my gosh. Hope you've been doing good, Stamina. It's been a while. Time zones make it hard. Yeah, I'm sure it does. How have you been? Any updates on your end? The augmented reality crime scene. ARCS is an investigative tool which data harvested from the sensors worn on first responders usually a reconstructed copy of the latest crime scene. Program distributed a small number of tech corporations, frequently modified and personalized local municipalities. ARC systems are used to every major police force, insurance investigators, and law firms. After introduction in the 2060s, came under public scrutiny when the independent news organization United Media Casters released a series of reports claiming ARC's data was regularly edited by corrupt officials to risk state secrets. These reports were later found to be fake. UMC was exposed as a subsidiary of the Cell Corporation with the Lambda Work Solutions, who were marketing a number of alternatives to ARC technology at the time. Board members of Lambda announced and the actions of said cell and offered assistance to their former competitors in suing leadership at UMC, but the proceedings and settlements in those lawsuits remain sealed. What happened to not reading terms? I'm just gonna quickly skim through them. I don't know, how unimportant do you think it is, Point Nav? Do you think I'll get by? I'll be fine if I don't read them? You can't make most of my streams, and that's totally reasonable, I'm sure. You're in the hospital recovering from a spinal surgery. You're going home on Monday. did you get injured and so you had to do a spinal surgery, or like was this like an existing condition that you had to do spinal surgery for? Also, it sounds like the surgery was successful, so congratulations on a successful surgery. I'll probably be fine without the terms. Okay. Too frail. All androids undergo wear and tear, especially if they're directing traffic or suppressing crowds. So if these warm androids bleed pink all over themselves every time they take a rock to the cheek, it's just an endless stream of bad photo ops waiting to happen. Okay, nothing else jumps out at me around here. I've got a better idea of what I'm dealing with, at least. Now I should check out the crime scene data. I should have been sent a link. Articles are probably as important as probably as important as their takeaways. Got it. It was planned because you had scoliosis and you had this plan for about a year. Okay, well, I'm glad that you finally got to go through with it and it turned out well, and hopefully there's no like issues with the recovery period. Yeah, I also have slight scoliosis, but nothing quite so major that I need to do like surgery or anything, or like do anything like corrective. But apparently everyone has like slight scoliosis, or like most people have slight scoliosis, and it's not a big deal. You've been granted access to state files regarding the case KL 4335511. Press C to confirm. Confirmed. You need to reply C in the order. Come on! If the instructions were clear! You need to reply C in order to confirm. Am I talking to a person? I am an automated dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences. So the state likes you to be a little authoritarian. You need to reply C. C. It's case sensitive. Unless I'm invested in the lore, then I read every last detail. I assure you, I will not be reading every last detail then. It's somehow very common with gymnasts and dancers. You did both. I mean, I could see that, right? Probably just because you're working your body and bending it in many different ways and in certain directions. I could see that could lead to probably like more severe scoliosis. How are you feeling after the surgery? Thank you. Links? All right, if I project from my phone... Whoa. Oh, it's recreating the crime scene. Oh, it's the ARC system. I see. It's good. Was in pain at first, but it's better now. Okay. All right, let's see what the police have and what they think is important. Seems like this vase got tossed aside at some point, and yet there's not a scratch on it. It must be pretty damn durable. Isn't art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. The murder weapon, a revolver found right next to the body. 6 empty casings found in each of the 6 chambers, meaning the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene techs practically disassembled the damn thing, but all they found were fingerprints belonging to my clients. So he was found by the police with the murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know where to start. Highly prejudicial would be an understatement. A stand-up mirror shattered and knocked over. Real glass, no screens or cameras here. It was hit hard enough to come unattached from its arm, while shards of glass were scattered, far enough to land on the victim's body. What a mess. The victim's body. Cause of death, ballistic trauma, class 4 blood loss, atrium and aorta. Single gunshot wound to the heart and brief. Death was instantaneous. No injuries anywhere else and no blood or skin under her nails. Blood splatter, forensics, and all that other good stuff tells them that she was shot from there. So the fire was killed. So the killer was standing in the door when they fired. That's all big ticket items. What about security? Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. It's not uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this. No signs of forced entry only hurts my client's case. What about the rest of the room? There's not much else flagged here. Just a lounge chair that got thrown and whatever that is. Unidentified ceramic debris. How are we? At the very least, I myself am personally doing pretty good. Recently, just got back from a vacation, spending time with family. Been doing a lot of stuff off stream, so I've been enjoying myself a lot, I would say. Hopefully I can get back into consistently streaming now with TFT, with PB coming back up, and the Scopes tourney coming. I have a Valorant tourney that's also coming up. Hoping to really sit down, grind at my games for a little bit. Flag is irrelevant. That's their technical assessment. Guess even the crime scene techs weren't sure what to make of it. Okay. That's everything the police highlighted. Did I miss anything? Why'd you ask if I missed anything? What the hell is that? Something's in the victim's hand. How the hell did... It's just a pill organizer. Looks like some immune adjusters, NSAIDs, and triprexazone, a synthetic corticoid medication. Taken daily to reduce rejection symptoms like phantom pain and generalized itch. The autopsy said her tox screams clear, but it's not like it matters. Summer, but you guess no money's coming in? Wait, for you? She could have swallowed every medicine cabinet in the city, and it still wouldn't change the cause of death. You were working for 3 weeks before this. Oh. And then, is it on break during summer, or like, are you just like, did you finish the job? It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. No, that means it's definitely irrelevant. It's just a summer job. Oh, okay. But the summer's not even over yet. We're only in like July. We haven't even started August yet. Everything else here is all very incriminating, but the kicker is everything that's not here. Stopped it because of the surgery. Oh, that makes sense. I see. Are you gonna start working again anytime soon, do you think? No out-of-place DNA, footprints, crumbs, nothing that points towards anything except my clients. Well, I've done more with less before, but not much more. I'm really gonna have to sing for my supper this time. Better get started. Who the hell's messaging me at this time of night? First person comes to mind is, I suppose it could be something important. Brat. Red. What couldn't wait until morning? Good news, of course. Got a job for you. That's a pretty cheery way telling me you violated parole. Well, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. This is something different. Kind of thing I can't handle with just a keyboard and phishing scheme. I need you to sue my gym teacher. Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. Hey, at least let me finish. What did they do? Makes me run laps. Not illegal. Let me finish. They made me run laps, even though I said I had a stomach ache. Said. Gotta be like youth endangerment, depraved indifference, or some kind of shit. Sounds like you've already got a strong case. Try self-representing this time. What's with the blow-off? Nice phrasing. Oh wow, I'm laughing so hard right now. Is that your mugshot? I wasn't not gonna get a copy of my mugshot. I wasn't gonna, and use it as a reaction. Glad you found a use case, but I'm working right now, so anything cool? Homicide. Oh, cringe. So they did violate parole? Yep. Maybe something not physically demanding, but not where you were working. That was a lot of physical work. Oh, okay, I see. Wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? Is that the kind of morbid thing kids your age talk about? Teens my age? And yeah, we can read. Compared to the corrupt shit in the headlines, old-fashioned murder like Cardi B is like quaint. It's not heartbreak. Then why'd you take the job, lol? I see you see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something. You taking up lost cause probe nose work? It's pro bono. That was autocorrect. You know they give lit homework for a reason, right? This is borderline concern nagging. Maybe you really are a bleeding heart or just a sucker. I'm not a sucker. I'm surprised that Morgan is entertaining this person for this long. Hey Vici, welcome to stream. Where's the Wacky Pie at? Should I Google it at this point? Do you think, Vici? Also, welcome to stream. Maybe it's good to take it easy. Well, yeah, that's true. Taking it easy is never too bad, but yeah, I mean, money's always a necessity, right? Nice phrasing. You should go to bed, Fran. Tomorrow's Sunday. I can stay up if I want. Tomorrow is Sunday because today is Saturday. Okay. What's with the Carpe Diem shit? It's nearly 4 a.m., kid. You've got school in like 3 hours. Oh, they have school on Saturday? That's savage. Shit. Repeat offenders may be good for business, but that kid's bad for my blood pressure. Important text message, I take it. Just your typical teenage drama. So then, if you wouldn't mind filling me in a few details. That was autocorrect. Oh, okay, of course. Still waiting for money to actually come through. You actually getting the payslip, but you don't see any coming into your bank account. Tried emailing the account details, but they didn't respond. That is always annoying, I will admit. Oh gosh, what is this? Oh, it's not anything. Okay, got it. I'm sure I'll go through this when it's important. Let's look at the profiles real fast. We got Farrah Reyes, homicide detective 3rd class. They like rice, limes, automotive history. They dislike liars, small plates, and cheap people. They enjoy watching product reviews. They're bad at games of chance, and their right eye is whatever that is. We got London. They like photography, dive bars, and bangs. This like ties pollen after hours work messages. They listen to podcasts. Their hobby is pencil sketching. They're frequently running late. I don't know. As I say, likes killing, dislikes getting caught. I like how we have this. Favorite color? Probably red. Zodiac sign? Probably not into astrology. Reward to spend due to influx of false reports. You hope so too. You need to be paid. I'm sure it'll work out. Hopefully sooner than later though. Okay, we don't need to read the terms. Let's keep going. Androids and cops. By the way, I couldn't help but notice that you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? I thought there'd at least be a few androids around. Aren't too many androids in any police station this week. Not while the brass is renegotiating contracts. Contracts with Noble. Good guess. Hardly they're the biggest robotics corps there is. Could spend all day in city center without leaving their office's shadow. Yes, we're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. Saves us some money on shipping at least. But these talks never last that long. I'm sure they'll be back to writing checks for Noble ads by the end of the month. Even with Noble pushing those warm androids. Warm, ugh. Might as well call it the adult line. Might see them in the bigger departments or out on patrol, but not around these offices. Warm or cold, there's no such thing as an android detective. Yet. Yet? Really? Yet? You really think that'll happen? We already use ads for patrolling, securing the scene, pacifying crowds. It doesn't seem like that big of a stretch to me. You're joking, right? Android detectives. With all the pain we go through getting witnesses to talk with us? With your warm personality? I can't imagine. A cop knocks on your door, starts asking questions. You're going to be put in a bad mood. An ad knocks on your door, calls you a degenerate criminal with a synthesized voice loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. You're going to start posting shit that'll put you on a list. Well, we certainly don't want to do that. But flesh and blood witnesses are becoming less and less common anyway. Cameras, sensors, satellites. We already get all our facts from machines. Give it a few more years. It might make sense to let machines do investigating too. The union would. The police union wouldn't let it happen. She needn't have specified. It's the only real union there is anymore. So how about the basics? What exactly has my client been charged with? Your client, Carlos Backer Flat, was arrested on scene at 9:50 p.m. Using his middle name already, they really do think he's the serial killer. The charge being the first-degree murder of his girlfriend, a Miss Diane Dawn. First degree, that's increasingly rare, to say the least. It's rare for us to get handed anything but crimes of passion around here. City's got goddamn near more cameras than people. So you gotta be really, really stupid to try and get away with murder. Well, Heartbreak's gotten away with it 6 times. So what's that make him? 5 times. And that makes him insane. You're not used to hearing me swear? You're so used to the auto censor that shocks me every time? Hey, I've sworn on stream before. You gotta keep with the authenticity of the game. I was gonna go with extraordinary. Let's split the difference and say he's extraordinarily insane. But nutjobs like that aren't renowned for their ability to think ahead. So it makes you think this was premeditated. I always thought premeditated was premediated, and I don't know why, but for the longest time, I used to think that was the word. How about the fact that he stalked and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up? 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies crawling up and down their online profiles. Nothing. So this serial killer chose his victims at random. They have nothing in common. Yeah, nothing in common at all, other than the fact that they all look like cousins. Their physical similarities are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women, with brown hair and eyes, about the same height, comparable weight. Well, those features aren't exactly uncommon. Couldn't it be a coincidence? If you really believe that, then you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. HK's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. Surely I would have known. I had seen at least one cop by now. At least one cop show. Wait, what are we talking about? You really gonna try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? A young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. Can't tell how tall she is from the portrait, but I can take the hints. So you think what exactly? That Carlos Flat wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly, he went out and shot 5 other women first. Hey, if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits, then you put the shoe on the... What Sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to displace their violence from people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Oh, premeditated versus premediated? I've never really watched cop shows now that I think about it. And I guess if I have, I must have just not paid attention. Drifters, loners, strangers, workers. He was probably building up the nerve for tonight by first practicing on these other similar women. Or he just goes so far, or he's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. It's not the worst theory in the world, but it doesn't fit. They want to claim that these previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. But if that were the case, there'd have been signs of hesitation, nerves. There'd have been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal execution shots. Even more so, there's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend or her lookalikes usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile. If you ask me... What? That was it? Okay. I saw the time of death was 9 PM on the autopsy, but do you even have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth, but we've managed thanks to the less biased sources. And we're pretty sure about what we've been able to piece together from the statements. So the interviewed witnesses sounds eerily similar to real police work. The suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another starting around 8 PM. Neighbors were very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us about the happy couple's domestic problems. Everyone in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks. As you probably gathered from what you saw in the arcs, there was a struggle, furniture turned over, glass shattered, but things go quiet sometime before 9 PM. Then there's the gunshot. Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio from the area to get a timestamp, but we heard from enough concerned citizens to be pretty damn sure about the time. Right, emergency services got a burst of calls from the block shortly after 9 PM. No one seemed to recognize the sound for what it was, but the silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrive on the street at 9:08 PM to establish a perimeter, enter through the open front door at 9:10 PM. If you ask me, it's mommy issues. What? But it's his girlfriend, not his mom. What if it's not the guy? It's probably not. That's the whole reason why we're defending him. And the whole point was, like, Morgan saying it's impersonal, the guy has no nerves. It probably looks like that they were having problems, but I don't think my clients can be the killer. Or probably hence why we're playing this character. And then they find your client crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood. At which point they move to secure the scene and the suspect. Sorry, did you say his hand singular? Your client's modded cybernetic right arm. How modded are we talking about here? Registered with a HOW 85 Habilis. Industry grade looks like. Says he's spec'd for dexterous manipulation of up to class 4 KPA, which means a minimum grip strength of, well, basically, he could crush your neck without even gritting his teeth. Wait, how could you... What was up the eye there? Considering a career change. No, it's not that, it's just... Your eye must be very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. And here I thought you just had a 14-year-old sense of fashion. Usually the girlfriend kind of reminds the killer of their mom, and they kill not just the girlfriend, but everyone who looks like her to get those issues out. I see. You think a cop would cover up her dominant eye because it was fashionable? Oh, whoops, wrong person. I actually thought the same thing the first time we met. You what? But getting back on track, that arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. He can't work without it. Money's got tight. The arguing. Yeah. When did he put his arm in for repairs? 8 days before HK's first victim was killed. Well, no chance they'd be willing to chalk that up to coincidence. Your client was arrested on the scene after the preliminary scan found his fingerprints on the revolver, and no one else's. A revolver? What kind? The old kind. The real old kind. More specifically, a Calvert M54, 6-chamber, 10mm. Calvert, how retro. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin, and no tags. No tags, how's that? Just how old are we talking here? Yeah, 24/7 location data. Timestamp trigger pools. Safety is coded to owner biometrics. For the past 3 decades, tags have made shooting crimes very unambiguous. So you're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes. How else do you think he would have gotten away with this 5 other times? If he tried to buy a gun legit, he probably failed the very first psych check, and even jailbroken pieces are only good for so long before update withdrawal sets in. So then M54, that's model year 2054, a 30-year-old gun. Well, that sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some way, sure, but pre-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country, and fewer still compatible bullets. The ammunition would have been over 30 years old too. The novelty of his weapon has kept us in the dark so far, but now that we have our hands on it, it's gonna put him away for good. The archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig, but with the protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets to the gun your client was found with. Rifling marks? Bullets fired with guns from old are marked by a barrel's shape, so if all 6 bullets had the same rifling marks, we know that they were all fired by the same gun. It's not as plug-and-play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. Wow, the old technology! Gun rifling bullet marks. And if that's not damning enough, the spent casings from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber, without even needing to reload. The Calva your client was found with is a gun HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. An untagged gun. Just being anywhere near a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with just an untagged gun used at 5 other crime scenes is just... To summarize then, you believe that my client fought verbally, then physically with his girlfriend, and then he retrieved this weapon and shot her. Yeah, that definitely doesn't line up. Yeah, pretty much. How did he look when the officers found him? Guilty. How was his effect? Hey gang, welcome to stream. Quiet, detached, stiff. Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner. That reaction may have lost some points with the cops, but beyond that, people react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. So as long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to grieve. What does my shirt say? Oh, I got you. So this shirt says, Mayora. Short for Mayoraba, which means, Mayo lover in Japanese. As a side note, I hate mayonnaise. Mayo. Checking my phone here, and I have to say, you've done a pretty admirable job of keeping the details of HK's crimes a secret. The less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobatics to try and piece together a story. Yeah, top theories on who hurt HK was a real weighty read. So I love white creamy stuff. No, I said I hate mayo. I hate white creamy stuff, okay? Actually, I like whipped cream. Anyway, it's not just journalists though. All kinds have been emboldened. The freaks that HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame them though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer, repeat offenders in general, and endangered species, but he's gotten away with. We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around us, detective. National DNA registry is robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras on every street, a phone on every citizen. Violent crime at all-time low, and clearance rates at all-time highs. But you're gonna spout some alt-pol bullshit about invasion of privacy? No, I'm not. People are safer now than at any other time in history, detectives. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along... Good point, haha. London looks like he's trying to he can laugh it off, but pressure from the higher-ups must be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need to see someone charged, and that makes them predictable. Yeah, well, even if there's nothing standard about HK, Department SOP still dictates, standard operating protocols, it still dictates we starve the media for case details. That way, when we do feed them, they'll be grateful for whatever scraps they get. But we can't take all the credit this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And why is that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system. How is that even possible? I know that there's some rough areas in the lower wards, but Optics is watching every other street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once? You think we'd have him let kill? You think we'd have him let kill 6? Wait, you think we'd have let him kill 6 people if we did? I understand your concern, ma'am, but Optics is only what it says in the name. private surveillance system signing up to the feed into the state security network. It's not perfect, just another one of the many public safety tools in our belts. It's not meant to be perfect, it's meant to help us solve crimes, or at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. Fat chance deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. Usually procedure, but protocol works too. Oh, got it. It's like a safety net, safety blanket, one with very few holes left in it, but it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes efforts, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details and deep digital bureaucracy involved, but in the end result is that there are occasional localized blackouts, and the math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict. I see. But those windows of opportunity are small and short. Taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You need to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. They'd have mentioned it if my client was a cop, and he wouldn't have needed a public defender either. His file says he's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfacing, so that just leaves city planning. But does he work construction for the city? HK's only struck at times in locations where optics would be down. Even with the devil's own luck, it can't possibly be a coincidence. Wait, so you're saying when this woman was killed? Yeah, there was a total blackout from the 8th to 9th tonight. Right on schedule, so to speak, and included the area surrounding the victim's apartment. Well, what about DNA from other crime scenes? Was my client a match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scenes. No footage, and no forensics. Also, no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost. We didn't even have a murder weapon. Until now. Finally, a lucky break for the boys in blue. Scanners, cams, drones, forensics. No matter how you dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes. But HK is the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. Only reason we even caught him tonight was because he finished what he had set out to do all along. So my client on the list of suspects before my client on the list of suspects before tonight. Weren't you listening? There was no list of suspects. We questioned some X's, a few CIs. Someone even spoke to one of the two enlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. There was talk about starting some kind of psych eval or something, but I never expected much to come of that. There's just not enough to work with. In other words, the only thing they could have to link my client to those killings is the murder weapon. If I can jostle that keystone, then the rest of their case should start to come loose as well. Thanks for the chat, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I see the same strokes you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, don't you think? Even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? Hey, it's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA is the only one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not exactly gonna have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. And why is that? Because we found a handwritten confession at his desk. Well, that's unexpected. I'm sorry, you're now telling me that he wrote a confession? Has it been verified? Not yet. We have to muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line. Why bother? The note's covered in his fingerprints. There's a copy in the discovery data, but I should warn you, it doesn't exactly make for a light reading. I'll have to manage it somehow. I need to see this confession for myself. Sorry for everything, can't say enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not want any of it to happen. Can't stay in control when I get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't sick mean what it to at first. But I was hurting. Words aren't enough now. I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. That was difficult to read. Barely legible, in fact. Well, got a spin on that? No need. But it's a confession. Not a confession he signed, though, is it? Not yet. And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for representation. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out, but I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my client. What? He's still not handcuffed in there, is he? Sick is a record-keeping thing for noting that there was a mistake from the source material. Oh, okay. I didn't know it was an actual thing. Look, counselor, with all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing to the man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs isn't cruel or unusual, and that's for your safety as well. It's kind of you to worry, but I doubt I'll be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. Seriously though, I'd like to speak with him alone now. Camera's off if you don't mind.
Mike's on or off is your call, counselor. But we'll be watching the feed from outside, right outside in case anything happens. And the cuff that is, stays on. That worried about me, how chivalrous. Yeah, my armor is practically blinding. Gross, I'll start the unlock cycle. Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession. Not a bad idea, I do get paid either way. But the defense part of defense attorney isn't just for show, detective. I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he's also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad. That's capital crime if there ever was one. It's like JoJo coloring! And even if the death penalty is not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not gonna like whatever rehabilitation plan they draw up for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's being challenged before the Supreme Court. Yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but if it keeps him from, well, that's probably a win for your client, right? Prison sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty. That much is true. It saves the courts a great deal of time and money, and they show their gratitude with reduced sentencing. But no one will ever be grateful towards the Heartbreak Killer. Oh, what the heck? Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind another day in their life. I get the feeling we're gonna get caught up in the whole government conspiracy. Ugh. It's depressing as hell in here. They need to liven this place up. Carlos flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. You've got a lot to cover, but this shouldn't take all night. What are you? Look, I already told you people, I'm not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. Oh. You're a lawyer, in fact, and I'm here to help you. Yeah, well, they said that too. Back there, in here, keep repeating it the whole ride over. They said that they were going to help me, that they knew this was all a mistake. Then, they said that I killed, acting like they were on my side, and they thought that I could've, It's not your job to help you, Carlos, but it is mine, and I'm here now. He's still in shock. I need more information, but if I approach this the wrong way, he'll clamp even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak, but I'd like you to try and answer a few questions. The police already questioning you, I'm sure, but they are treating you as a suspect, not as a client. Okay, so what do you want to know? Let's start simple. Something mundane. Grounded wrote. Grounded route? Wrote? Grounded wrote? I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in? I'm with city engineering. Or I was, or I should be. As I thought, the police must have convinced me he mapped the optics blackouts using data he stole from the work. My arm, I got slotted for the job, and Carlos, I'm gonna need more than that. So what do I know? He works in city engineering, not a desk job. Wrote, mundane, routine, I figured. Repeated. Reyes said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment, but based on his shoulder, it'd have to be pretty... I don't know. Based on his shoulder? It'd have to be pretty utilitarian, because it seems like there's like a utilitarian, yeah. He doesn't strike me as a type who's enamored with the aesthetics of modding. The young and the restless and the rich, swapping in neon and chrome limbs because they like the way it looks, or the way it makes other people start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. You know, my brother wanted to find a mod. My brother wanted a mod. Really? Really? I don't even have a brother. I knew it. He had everything planned out, a whole career path of promotions and bonuses and the upgrades they'd afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present. Test results politely informed me that he's not a viable candidate. That sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. It seemed like it was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad that he didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think it does. I always figured that if I'd start at all, I'd start small, a hand or an eye. Test the water. Never thought I'd be lobbing my whole damn arm off. But the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said, because of the NCDA, there was financial aid and resources. Of course, that I got shit canned, so now me and every other modder is royally screwed. Couldn't even let me keep the tax credits. The New Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended and not repealed, but I doubt you appreciate the distinction at the moment. I worked the tightest spaces, the high volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for mothers, you know? He's speaking freely now. Don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him to keep him talking. Imaginary brother? Or like fake, but you know. I feel like imaginary's, I guess, fine. I guess it's an apt word here. But the difference, but the right word choice here or there can still make a difference. You work on canopy, you must be good with heights? You must be good with heights. I guess so. But when your work's that technical, you focus so much on what your hands are doing that you don't have time to look down. Speaking of hands, why aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos? Yeah, that's. Rejection issues started last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Rejection? Did the therapy not take? It's not that. I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything. Then do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars? Not in the way you're thinking. I'm right-handed. So those cuts on the face are just from shaving? Never thought this would go on so long. I'd have to relearn how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms. Just over insensitivity, they said. An easy fix. But the problem got bigger. Couldn't let it get that far. Need to be able to trust your own hands when you're on a job site. Drop a cut at the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm, and watched my case get placed at the back of the landline. Where did you turn it in? Some mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list deck. You wouldn't. It doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no. I just found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. But as long as I'm renting and not owning, the manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance. And that's why I'm sitting here with this expensive ass stuff for a shoulder. I haven't been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I get 2 working arms again. You couldn't buy or rent a replacement yourself just in the meantime. I serve at the pleasure of the state, and they got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all that locked up white knuckle tight. Hindi? Oh. How Industries? As I recall, he's registered with one of their Habilis models. If I took one step on site with uninsured tech, forget the fines, I lose my down payment and my arm, and I never work in the city again. You mentioned discomfort. Are you in pain? Pain will come and go. It's the itches that'll kill ya. And the phantoms that come back pretty fast when I don't have anything. An arm shape attached to me. Oh. Arm shape attached to me. Didn't they give you something to, well, wear in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this. What they gave me is a dead weight, 3-jointed landfill baked piece of shit. Sorry, it's just a very shitty feeling having a part of your body that you know they cut corners on. It fits, it's compatible technically. I can slot it in and feel on balance again. But the fingers don't even bend, and the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep or dead. So you were wearing it when... She died? Probably gives us more information, because the arrest happened afterwards. When she died? Oh, never mind. I can be a little less blatant than that. So you're wearing it when you were arrested? No, I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging it as evidence, so... Can't have gone too far. So Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. He had the victim's blood on his left arm, only because at the time in question, he didn't even have a right. No inconsistencies in the story so far, and he opened up about as well as he can, he's opened up as well as he can, as well as can be expected. He's right-handed though, so kind of curious, can he shoot a gun properly with his left hand? But this has all just been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. Already missing out of credits, SMH? I don't know. How long did you two know each other? Right, I've known you since college. We've shared a few classes, some mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually we got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her out. The real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics, focused her study on agriculture. It always takes them a few tries to get used to using past tense. Just finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired right out of the gates. Practically headhunted, can you believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was, any company would be lucky to have her, unlike... It was a real-ass job, paid real-ass money too. It's okay, credits don't matter unless you lose them all. Unless I lose them all. Are credits like my HP? Is that what it is?
Or like, or credits like something else entirely.
So a career was starting to pan out.
I see.
Bright as yours had fallen into the mother of all slumps.
Where was she hired?
Pedigree? No, pedigree? No, pedigree, laboratories. I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Hardcore's umbrella. That does narrow it down. The Harvest Corporation grows a third of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. Now, no corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting, but Hardcore is about as tame as big businesses can get. Predictable like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Had she adjusted well to her new job? Yeah, they loved having her there. She never mentioned the arguments or disputes. Corporate politics is getting rough. I don't think so. Not that I've been a good listener lately. But I never got the impression that look, no one I know could do this to her. And there's nothing she could have done that would deserve what happened to her. It was a long shot, hoping for a disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. But with no other suspects, I can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to discover their arguments entirely, disprove the entire arguments entirely. They're both post-episode currency for phone cases and charms, so the more you have at the end of the episodes, the more cosmetics you can get. I see. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was? Now I'd like to you and try and tell me what you can about that. What happened that night. Oh. Start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important. All right, Miss, Morgan. I'll try, Morgan. When you're ready, we were arguing. We had been arguing a lot lately, arguing about stupid stuff. I haven't been working, haven't been making money, haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself. But more than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous over nothing. Jealous over goddamn money. The reports say you were arguing around 8 p.m. 8, yeah. Must have been when we started. We got into it and I said a lot of things I shouldn't have. And I said one thing I really, really shouldn't have. I crossed the line. We both knew it, so I left. You left? Yeah, walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the fresh air wasn't fresh, just humid. Thick like mud. And while I was pissing away the time, Diane was, did you bring your phone with you or any other electronics? No. I was kind of stormed off. Didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me. With optics down, traffic and street level cameras won't help him. That leaves. Did you go through the checkpoint or talk to anyone with modded eyes? Did you buy anything, cash or credit? No, not even the vending machine. Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I may have bet my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate. I just wanted quiet at the time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have all the details straight in my head, Diz. But if my exact route would help, the cams probably. What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen? And there was no other proof that you were out at the time Diane was killed, meaning you've got no alibi. This isn't. This can't. Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't. Carlos, I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. So let's get it all out there and see what we've got to work with. Right. Now, you said you've left to clear your head. So what made you come back? I came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. I didn't know what it was. But it was loud and it scared me. And it came from the direction of our apartment. I was walking back at first. But at some point, I started running because when I got back, I was so out of breath. And when I saw that, the front door was open. Something dropped in my chest. And my lungs wouldn't. You live on the first floor, right? Yeah. First floor apartment. Street facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of big deal. From the hallway I saw her, but I didn't realize. I never thought that she was... The lights were off. The whole room was a mess. I thought I would have been robbed or she had fallen or... There was broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name, but she didn't move. I checked her pulse and she was still warm. Her blood was warm and I saw... The gun. The gun. It looked so heavy, but I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real. Is that why you picked it up? Picked it up. I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it. Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies. Bad lies, especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie, but it can be hard to know what to do about it. All the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and offensive. None of this works if he doesn't trust me. If you have to date on your details of all your evidence by checking your phone, if your clients notice that you don't know what you're talking about, they'll stop giving you any credits. Flat's left hand with a 99.91% certainty. You did touch the gun, Carlos. That's just a fact, and we know because of your prints. It's a fact that your fingerprints are on that gun. What? But I didn't do this. I wasn't thinking. I was just Carlos. All I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? That explains how his prints got on the gun, but not in a way that satisfied the police. Still, if all he did was hold the gun... So stupid. I know what a gun looks... So stupid. I know what a gun looks like. But seeing it in my own home, right in front of... You were in shock, Carlos. You still are. The police came in sometime after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast. It seemed like the rest of the night went probably the way you'd expect. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. To clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight. What, physical? We never fought. We never fought like that. Did the police say that we did? They assumed as much, which means they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Considering what Carlos was telling me, what else did they assume?
That's so interesting, because that means that the victim was fighting with the Heartbreak Killer. Presumably it was a Heartbreak Killer. Oh, I'm so tired. Presumably it was a Heartbreak Killer, but if they're fighting beforehand, it's kind of impressive that they still got a single shot to the heart and got the kill.
What is it? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene. Oh. It's an AR module built from data taken from the police center, so... Right, just that. It's just data, Carlos. No grisly details. Okay, let me see it. Take your time. Alright, I think I've got it. That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try and focus on what's out of place. Alright. I'll take notes. You just say whatever... I'll take notes. You just say whatever comes to mind. I don't exactly remember where everything was. But, well, the mirror was upright, of course, and that clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point, and the bed got tossed. The cushions torn, and the urn fell. Other than that... No, sorry, that's all that stands out to me. I see, like... So... What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. It's just, I guess I assumed your notes would be making edits to the AR. Well, I suppose that works too. Aspiring artist over here. So, sorry, I didn't mean. I think your drawing was pretty good considering. I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos. Right. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. Letter? What do you mean? I mean, this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession. A confession? But this is just a note to self. Pardon? Look, when we fight, I lose my temper, say things I don't mean to. This morning, I try to write things down so I'd have a script to stick to, so I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her. Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them. Hurt their feelings, obviously. That's... I broke her fidget tubbies. Never mind. Her what? Her what? Her fidget tubbies. They're these collectible ceramic character things.
The change in music's crazy.
They're supposed to be like tactile. Use them as paperweights or conversation starters. Conversation starters. She loves those things. They're not worth a damn, but you can buy them at flea market garage sale. But they meant a lot to her, and I broke them. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but that goddamn piece of shit rental arm, I hardly know I'm swinging it half the time. Got so angry, I ripped it off and tossed it in my room. That cheap, dusty, worthless. Okay, let's say he did break her frigiduckies with his replacement arm. What does that change? Nothing at the moment. That's not enough. There's not enough detail in the note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write this. But if the police insisted on claiming it's a confession for the heartbreak killings anyway, couldn't even bother to sweep them up. I felt so... Alright, Carlos, thank you for answering my questions. Now I'm going to call the police back in here, and I'm going to get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it? Oh, okay. Although, before I do that, I do have to ask. What do you know about the Heartbreak Killer? The Labubu's, we love the Fidget Tubbies music. Something tells me that the Fidget Tubbies are probably like, what, the rewards you get at the end of a chapter? And they'll probably come back. They'll probably have a reprise in some capacity. Heartbreak? You mean that cycle that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess.
1 second. Okay, just make sure. Let me see any messages from my friends.
I haven't been getting out much. I'm sure that everybody's on edge. A guy like that out there, he shoots people through the heart, right? The police kept the victim's appearances far away from any upstanding news sources, so unless he already was following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? If he's this slow in the uptake, it's gonna be a real shock when those officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just have to squash that theory as quickly and as definitively as possible. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. For a fee. 2,999 credits. You know what? I will say I do love Morgan as a character. I guess so. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right, I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It will be my first homicide defense, though. Oh. Why does everyone think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up. I got relevant experience in other areas. Oh. And, what are those? What areas are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? No, ma'am. I never go anywhere near loot boxes. For a fee's crazy. Won't touch the stuff. I meant more like playing cards. Oh, well, then, no. To that, too, I've actually got pretty terrible luck. Could have fooled me. Well, what I like to do a lot is poker, Carlos. Isn't she a prosecutor? No, she's the defense attorney. Poker's nice because even if you're dealt nothing but a crap all night long, you can still win, which makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, do you have a pretty good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker, and the state's the dealer? If only. No, the state's more like the house. You mean like the house always wins? Yes, and they're very good at it. Winning, I mean.
Criminal defense attorney. Yep.
That's why they're up there, and we're down here. That's why they're the house. So what do? We play the cards we're dealt as best we can, win more hands than we lose, keep it up, and eventually someone will come over, tap the dealer on the shoulder, and whisper something in their ear, and then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was more asking like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's the strategy. What's up? You know, there's a saying about gamblers with strategies. Yo, ready to confess yet? Because I already woke up the DA. Already, she must be new. The district attorneys have the final say on whether or not the case is brought to trial. Only fair since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilt pleas over long, protracted trials, and they all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to call them back because my client is not guilty, and frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right, what she said. Oh. You've got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generation, I guess, before my time kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession. Let's start there. Okay, we'll be happy to. The thrust of every argument starts with the facts. We use what's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simpler, counselor. We're real paint by numbers stuff. See, we found the note at his apartment with his fingerprints on it, apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. Now, how are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts. I've been building up my hand all night, and now I've got the weapons to answer anything they try to throw at me. Well, my client did write that note, and it was an apology, but not for murder. He was apologizing for... He was simply apologizing for this. The hell is that? I found myself asking the exact same question. Ah, it's like poker. Or, I mean, I'm sure it's not like poker, but that's the analogy they're treating it like. Because the Steam achievement I just got was win your first hand. What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene? This diagram of the room, it's created from data you captured, right? Yeah, pure non-GMO, augmented reality crime scene data, yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder. Full of busted shit, for sure. But I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Maybe from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh, because that vase wasn't damaged. It's not possible for that debris to have come from the vase, because that vase is still pristine. How is that possible? The lady at the garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. Damn it, the one time I tried and thrift shop on my own. Wait, what did you want? A durable vase? Wait, why is he sad about that? Well, so what? What does it even matter? If the vase doesn't have a scratch on it, then the debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming? I am, because that pile of rubble is all the remains of the victim's collection of Fidget Tubbies. What he said. I like how the music pops up every time. Because it's not an old antique. Oh, I see. Mr. Flapp broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident, and this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously, as much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that my client wrote that note. And we can all plainly see that there's ceramic debris at the crime scene. Now, since it couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? The entire room is trashed. As the arcs clearly shows, those fidget tubbies must have gone pulverized during the struggle too. You really gonna claim he sat down to write an apology for breaking your toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier, and then that, and here's the proof. The collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. Oh, it's the arm. How do I do this? Whatever this. Just take a closer look at the rental you took into custody. Huh? One swipe of your finger should show exactly how devastating it was to the Fickle Buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your text found ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it. Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm while he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed because even a cheap arm's got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right? Right. See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report said the rental hadn't been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? It's gotten pretty late, sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how panicked that note is. You expect me to believe that he was upset over a fidget tubby collection? One that hasn't even been graded? Ah, she's a hardcore fidget tubby fan. Setting aside Detective Ray's surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to the collectibles, you're correct, they held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, that's not the panic you're seeing on that page. No, the only reason that note looks the way it does is because Carlos is right-handed. Because Carlos is right-handed. Yeah, yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something? So the reason why the note looks like an asylum wall scribbles is just because he had to use his left hand to write it. I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. I just thought it could be good practice. Taking that into account, alongside the ceramics, your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine. Forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to the big old goddamn gun. That's just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right, that coat is... I really like this art. I like this angle where you can see her. What? You gotta claim it's not his? That he actually wears an extra small. Trying to bait me in her typical low-key fashion. Arguments flow, you won't always have the strong hand. Sometimes the best you can do is hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Try to lose as little credit as possible when you wait for your chance for more favorable chance. She must have something, no sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, detective? I'm just curious what it'll be next. You're gonna tell me actually wears an extra small? He doesn't wear an XSS. He wears an XSS. I can't even choose this as an option. Justice is blind. Gee, Carlos, do you? No. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm sure there's no evil twin you forgot to mention. There's no evil twin. No, I'm afraid not. Not even gonna go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime. To prove his innocence, I will need to get there eventually. But going there now without hard evidence, I can't prove a third party. Tutorial is tutorial, fair enough. I have no evidence of a third person at this time. Damn right you don't. It's clear as day in the arcs. No evidence but of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming. It's obvious she had something there. I wasn't going to win that hand either way, but at least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. Oh, I too like this mechanic. This is an interesting mechanic, I will say. We're not contesting any of that, detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene, which was not smart. Hey, but not illegal either. And that's all. He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way? The lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier to just show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. Things are bullshit in here anyway. And here I thought the room smelled like. Oregon, what are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. Doesn't that make me look really bad? Just relax, Carlos. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. And that means having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. Unless it's planted and fake. Really? Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing. Now, what was it that reminded me of? Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket, fresh from the lab. So what's your angle? You gonna tell us this is actually some hot sauce? No, that would be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? What happens if you lose? Don't know, to be honest. I'm sure you just game over and then you just have to go back to a certain point. Hey, sorry, you just got thrown off by a turn of good fortune. What's good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your check, Carlos. She's just proven your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. It was the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart by a gun that happens to be a old world pre-tagging firearm. And so the coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? You like it if the case progresses anyway. Oh, like lose one of the hands? Or like you're saying lose all your credits? I'm sure it progresses still. Sense happens to be key here. No, it's probably just like when you make a mistake in Ace Attorney, right? You probably just like, you lose a life, quote unquote, but your life is the credits. Sense happens to be key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. Okay, it's time to read on the coats. Clearly there's something here. Blood, no details of forensic significance found.
There's clearly something here. The autopsy, the revolver, and the coat. Let's look at these pieces of evidence. So let's look at the autopsy. Death was instantaneous. Left atrium and aorta. Okay. Man does not know crime shows. Certainly does. It certainly shows. I don't watch them. What do you want from me? And then the revolver, the autopsy, rifling marks. What you can feel on the coat with your hands. What you can see on the coat with your eyes. I actually have no idea. Hello, Rocket. Welcome to stream. You did a creamy yesterday. I don't know how to take this statement, but congratulations, I guess. Like, I don't have bias / experience? What? For what? Crime. Oh. What was the crime you did? We need some evidence for when we arrest you. Please feel free to confess. Chad, I actually have no idea what this is. Oh, for how a case could go. I see. I feel like there's no mention of anything of smell, so I feel like it has to be looks. Blood on the sleeve. And it's on the left sleeve. Sternum, left atrium, and aorta. Death was instantaneous. Please don't confess. If you do crime, at least be smart. No, no, no. Always confess. Turn yourself in. I'll just try it. See what happens. Just tell me what you see. I see a coat with a lot of dead woman blood on it. And you? That's not gonna work. The truth is plainly there, but this isn't the kind of detail you can see with the naked eye. Okay, I'm sure it's smell, because the guy was talking about smell. I just don't understand why it'd be smell. Just do me a favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly, the coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of... cigarette? That's what I've been smelling. What? Cigarette? What? Yes, Detective London, I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You wanted me to smell the jacket. If you would. Let's see. Huh. No gunpowder. Does gunpowder leave such a distinct smell that you'd be able to smell it on a jacket hours afterwards? What? It sure does? I see. Did they just expect me to know that? I guess they hinted at it with the whole smell thing that he was talking about it, but like, that is not information I knew of. I've like gone shooting guns at like a gun range before and like out in the desert with some friends, and I don't remember smelling a distinct smell, if I'm being honest. Maybe that's just me though. What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me, but not before your partners, it seems. See, gunpowder is weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring. I've never smelled gun before. I guess not. Even though I've literally shot it. Multiple guns. And when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms, like the ones we carry, use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. They got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise, and they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue. You talking my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave visible traces. But a revolver like this one, it'd leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So then his coats. If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I'm looking this up. How long does gunpowder Smell last. Let's see, gunpowder residue, partridge, blah blah blah. Okay, according to AI, it's a few minutes to several hours, and I'm not gonna bother researching more. And then I ended up on a list. What? No. If you don't trust your noses, then you can check the lab reports. Yeah, I think if they had found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken the time to highlight it. Well, whatever. That just means he washed off after shooting her, or he changed his clothes. That's not possible, but it would be pretty pointless. Huh. His jacket and left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue, just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flat is facing as soon as possible. Whoa. They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. The letter's mostly icing on the cake for them. But that gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he never actually fired the gun, I'll admit things were a little dicey there at times, but once I was able to grasp the situation, man, they really love that JoJo coloring. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say, did you get the message? Oh, seriously, what's up with her eye? Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? I wonder why. Sometimes she has light in her eyes, and sometimes she doesn't have light in her eyes. You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks? But your luck just ran out, because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting, and right now, her eye is modded, it's not her profile. No, I get that, but like, what does it do? I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Wanna bet? Wow, what a cold, dead stare. A photo of the shooter. If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something from the scrubbers. She must be bluffing. That's a bold bluff for this late in the game, Detective. Especially when we both know that there was an optics blackout during the shooting. Well, that's just it. This isn't from optics. I should have figured she wouldn't have made a claim, but that bold without something to back it up. Well, yeah, but I'm assuming that it's not the killer. I'm assuming, like, the whole point is this. Okay, whatever, it's fine. Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this. See, the whole point is that could be anyone. Well, okay, the quality is lacking, and yet there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in the whole city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? No, with the scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envision. You could say I even got lucky, which means the stakes are... Well, it's a little bit... blurry. Don't look at me, I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. It looks like at the time of the shooting, the neighbor was on their phone, probably venting about how the couple across the way was acting. But if their phone was on, its camera would be on. And so we managed to get this shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further. I could count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image, and there's no way in hell you can get this past the judge. See, that's why I was gonna call out the bluff. Yeah, you're probably right. We couldn't, but I think I know a DA that could. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. That photo. What the hell is happening to me? Think I know a DA that could. Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. And who do we know that had their left-hand fingerprints all over the gun? I'm sorry, did they have a right arm in this picture? I guess it's a little unclear. You're referring to my client, you think? We've established he wasn't wearing his modern arm at all tonight, so he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established that he's weak with his left side, a left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensic will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things.
Sometimes when you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get to where you're going, you somehow end up dry, but it doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which to say, before our judges or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. Carlos is innocent. I know he is. But that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. If both are true, then that means the photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words? Never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly? Exactly. Positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we DM on the phone's owner and ask them where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us that the perp shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of the apartment faces the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter, so that's pretty obvious that this is taken across the north window. From the north. If this is the north, then why can we clearly see the... It's not complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. So if we're looking into the bedroom from the north window, if she's wrong, I should seize the opportunity to start turning the tide. I'm afraid that's simply not possible, Detective. This photo has to have been taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press initiative. What the hell do you mean this was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your officer's ARCS data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. And now your photo has shown us the exact moments of the shooting. And you now raise the ante and on a hand and up to the current max. Answer wrong, you'll lose more credit, but answer correctly, and you can bank up more credit for trickier hands down the line. And altogether, that tells us that this photo must have been taken through the west window, as long as you consider the clock. Oh, I want to up it. Max it out. Just take one look at the clock in the photo. The clock, what about it? The clock, huh? Seems like London's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high. This photo was taken right before the shooting, so wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. The time of death is wrong. I guess that has to be true, right? No, that's true. No, stay. Are you crazy, or is this kind of like Tears of Themis car system? It's been a while, so you can't remember. Couldn't answer. Wait, no, that clock reads 9 p.m. Same as the autopsy and the neighbor's reports. I didn't lose anything by keeping my mouth shut while London's train of thoughts ran its course, but I could have gained momentum by beating him to the punch. Oh! I see. I was supposed to take advantage of the fact that it was wrong. Oh, I see. Then what the hell were you on about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style, and it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. The hell's so special about that? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time the clock reads, but do you remember there being a clock in the room? This is a really cool gameplay style, to be honest. Yeah, I like it a lot. What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock, because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner, and my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall, like so. We need to have hooked? Yeah, but I don't know if I'm going to play it more with the game not even fully out yet, you know? Because it's like, what's the point of going through the game when it's not even done? You can already see how the flowcharts of dialogue in the background. An artistic rendition. It's, very distinct. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why don't you just add that to the arcs and show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Slip my mind, I'll do that now. Important thing is that if the clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, then the photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 p.m., the same time that this photo was taken of the shooter. But you want to claim that the clock's still on the eastern wall when it would have been knocked down during the fighting. You've got your logic backwards, detective.
It's gotta be crazy to account for the different choices. It's okay, you'll get crazy. It's okay, you'll get me back once all 5 episodes are out. Well, remember anything that's happened or even out of play? That's the other thing. Why I don't like playing games when not fully released. It's like, okay, well, I like it, but it's like if it's not done, I have to either wait for it's all released, and who knows how long it'll take for that, and I could have forgotten everything that's about the game in that time, you know? That's my issues with it. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting, and there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. It's gotta be the glass. I'm all in. Glass shards, what about them? They're on the body. Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. And not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes? Other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds. So what do you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal and things had gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective, but in this case, it seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which the shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her, and we still have a photo right here. I'm so glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. If I forget, you'll make him remember to search for something else. Do you smell a cover-up? Oh, I thought it was cover-up. I thought they were doing it to hide their tracks and then pin the murder. Oh, but maybe it was to search for something. Huh? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger, because that man in the photo can't possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't. The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. We know that until the room was tossed, that the clock was on the eastern wall. That means the photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit. That's impossible. The only hallway in the apartment that runs from north to south. The only hallway in the apartment runs from north to south. The only person with prints on the gun is your client, and the only fact that matters is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very honest person, detective. Excuse me. That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation, you're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is the mirror. The mirror. No, I should have max bet. I forgot to bet more. Gosh dang it. What is that? You're trying with the glass shards again? Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? The style reminds you so much of Tues. I get Danganronpa vibes from this for sure. Do you play it yourself or do you wait for the rest of the stream? Why even bother playing it yourself right now? All the episodes are not out. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure, they came from a standing mirror. A mirror that, at the time of the shooting, stood across from the western window. But then that would mean, at that angle, from that viewpoint, it would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks, and he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad it was recovered, because it just proved that my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. That should be the end of it, except it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice gambler. Sun Cost has got its teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in the air. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever, the impotence, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. Eventually play. But you should play Danganronpa. Great game. I highly recommend Danganronpa 1 and 2. Cannot say I recommend Danganronpa 3. A lot of people do. It's very mixed bag for Danganronpa 3 V3. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. Then allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. Time for the summary. Now this is very Danganronpa. My client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to the gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, you received the photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting, and instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, you tried to claim it depicted my client, a man with the requisite limb, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. He could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. A little stubbornness can be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs a bit. That's the best you've got? Even a bare bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. This is literally just what happens at the end of Whodunit. I guess you're right, but Ace Attorney doesn't do anything like this. But way cooler. Like, Danganronpa does something very similar at the end of its cases, where it takes the summary and you have to, like, put it all together in a comic book format. And they give you, like, a nice little comic you play out at the very end. He'd have to bring it into a clinic, which would have left a record on his shoulder, OS. A record you won't find. He'd still have to somehow gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it minimum. I don't know what an SOP is. So where Detective Reyes did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest? Well, I defined it earlier. Oh. You're right. Any objections? It's time for the breakdown. Detective. God damn it! Show me your hand, Flats. You're uncuffing me. In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Now I gotta go call the DA. Tell her I made a mistake. Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective, lost my train of thought, but hey, oh. Your attorney's a real tiger. She just fought like the hell for you. Make sure to thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah. That's kind of you to say, Detective, but my work is its own reward. Sure, I feel exactly the same, Counselor. What happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal, and there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through, but basically you're free to go. Congrats, you get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay? What am I supposed to do? The detectives will continue their investigation. Their investigation into Heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with the examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin, and then you can make a funeral arrangements. No, that's not what Diane being gone is bad enough, but a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore. People die to the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. I can't make sense of it, so what am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. There are some contacts I could give you, services, professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself to try and convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job to... No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos, I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all... I see. This was the twist. I understand now. Okay, holy. All right, this is not what I was expecting. Now, you know what? I am hooked. Morgan criminal, defense attorney. The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place, easy to find, hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain unfurling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom, only one for each of us.
A Rorschach test with singular universal meaning, vitality at its climax, bursting forward into a red fractal consisting solely of the infinite, the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. Okay, I don't think she's the heartbreak killer. I don't think she's the heartbreak killer. I just think she's murdered. I don't know. You've been holding on to that knowledge watching the entire thing? Maybe she is the heartbreak killer. I don't know. Okay. Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. Nope, she's the heartbreak killer. She's actually the heartbreak killer. Never mind. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but whatever. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash, but cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Moping around in the dark in here must have only been able to see my silhouette. Wait. Must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did she think I was her boyfriend back for an encore of that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Hey, did you hear that? These old pieces are so goddamn loud. And people aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. But I didn't see anything I could even use as a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? I used the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces, in small spheres of blind opportunity that city ties couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean organized even. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except, there's shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine, just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine, it's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them, not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be a pile of some shit in the corner ruining everything. Kick the wall, something falls from it. Probably some more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock over the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustrations and try to savor the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean to my messy angle. At least it will be consistent. She's a psychopath. Is this a case of merciful personalities? No, she's a psychopath. She's a psychopath with the guys. This is all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with a single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. But after that, I did start actively aiming for the heart, but... heartbreak killer? Really? Don't tell me, don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? All these threads on breakdowns and goddamn theory crafting? So we're playing as a crazy serial killer obsessed with control? Or episode 0, we play as this crazy obsessed serial killer, and then we swap perspectives after episode 0. And all for the heartbreak killer sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I'd feel insulted by the label, but no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it, they spread it, they marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just a reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... Why did I shoot these people? Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected one too many times or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them and I wanted to. I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. Oh, it was just a coincidence that the 6 of them looked together? That's crazy. If I just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in Spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air is weighty tonight, thick, energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain that I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off when the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that. But I know I've never felt guilty about any of this, and I walk. Sorry, using my left still. That's okay, you can just initial in those spots. I took a scenic route home courtesy of the fine city's sprawling public transportation and got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk and did some stretching. Made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m. a posting for the public defender work came up. decent rate since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer and enough debt that he would need to be provided one. All I needed to do was stay awake. Oh, mate. No, wait. This is her first homicide case, though. I was like, maybe she's just trying to make some work for herself so she can earn some money. So she goes around murdering people. And she's killed so many people that don't look like the others, and people formed a pattern that didn't exist. Yeah, you're both hooked and don't know how you feel playing as the killer. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, what else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too, but easy is dangerous. Carlos was of course innocent, so his conviction would never be all airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans depending on his looks. More attention to the heart killer and his crimes, more headaches. A cold case rotting in the far back is the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Now with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find the culprits. Now Heartbreak can just starve to death out of sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with the case, this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there, like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room just to doubly make sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. Wow. You're both, she's got some messed up thoughts. I mean, that's how psychopaths are. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked, but obviously everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for all the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane is grateful too. Funny, I didn't even know her name. Truly a psychopath. Something the matter? No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died, death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but I just kept thinking that she must have died angry at me, that she must have died hating me. To tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself. What is it? I know something I noticed in the ARC's data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit in anywhere else. But maybe you can make sense of it. What is... Where did you find that? That pill organizer was found on the victim. She had it grasped in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seemed like it contained tripexazone, prescribed to help modders with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and those are tricky clasps, too, for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died, even if they did. Feelings are complicated. You can feel happy, angry, sad, all at the same time. But as far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. I thought it was weird that she'd smoke because it had such a strong smell, and then making them smell the jacket. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings. I doubt I'll ever see him again. But overstepping like that is pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. So why did I even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I'll just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for Heartbreak. The gun's in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a 7th victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to the next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will ever... Found you. District Attorney Rockford. Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried. By all means. Ugh, Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together. Thank you. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise, aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God, I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters. It's this Assistant District Attorney, Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. and despite her sometimes unkept appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has a remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her good at her job, and hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? What do they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Oh, well, actually, I'm here for you. Me? Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case. Well, then you must have been relieved finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I have to be worried about going up against you? It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you were working with those detectives? Yeah, London and the new girl, Reyes. They've been reporting to me in preparation for trial. Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving behind so little. So Reyes told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here. Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. So when I heard I have a case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. But that's about all. Oh. I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer. The same serial killer that outsmarted the state for weeks? She's not using his middle name. He was found with the murder weapon, but I can answer that. But I can answer that in any number of ways. Wait, what am I trying to answer? What am I trying to answer right now? Strange how she's comforting a guy like that. She's gotta keep up her guys, you know? She can't look like a psychopath. She's gotta look like a normal person. Wise words, the life of a DA. Trying to cover up my kills? Well, what am I trying to do? I don't understand the question I'm trying to answer right now. It could have been flat? Oh, is she saying it could have been flat? Or am I saying it... I'm thinking it could be maybe this, because the clock could have been moved, right? Technically? That may be true, but then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it. No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right. Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever that was about. His dominant arm modded, with documented sensitivity issues. Never could have made shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention he's too tall for ballistics entry angles, and probably too heavy not to leave imprints. She got all of that from a glance. But I'm sure a competent lawyer like you yourself pointed all that out in a minute you walked in here. Of course. Worst part is she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile. Profile? Yeah, Right, sorry, you probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile is a reconstruction of the criminal psychology based on evidence from their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much need to guess about about the why when 99 times the 100 of the who is caught on camera. Or before they even leave the house. I had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. So this profiling is some kind of investigative technique. Theory is that crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poisons, guns may all suggest that they can't overpower their victims physically. And there's the one thing you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few or no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories. Detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. How much can his crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent, almost perfect. Highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, and with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm. It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered house cat who's picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated, but all her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably not overqualified or overvalued, though I'm not thrilled about the fact that in the metaphor, I would be the... Know what I mean? Definitely. And considering the marksmanship, the detective said the HQ would needed insider information on optics. So does that mean the heartbreaks in law enforcement? Never in 10 billion years. Oh. Antisocial to independent, despises authority? That'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. They kicking kids in the heads after the first full rotation. Right, that's exactly how I put it. There must be some connection to the police though, maybe secondary or tertiary. These types can't help but insert themselves. Insert themselves. I do not I do not insert. I do not do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK is not a cop, how do they know about the blackout timing? Crime meta statistics analysis, probably. Pardon? Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays. Chart out the dips in. Sorry, technical, I know. Well, the requisite data is publicly available. The map, a spreadsheet, a calculator. Anyone could really send your name the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. Why is so interesting? The who, what, when, where, and why. She's close. Yeah, the whole point is it's not a story, it's real life, okay? Why is not important when you're trying to catch an actual criminal. Well, at least this Heartbreak's maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it, he chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. And it just makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were there other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I found. Other victims that fit the description? No. But I'm not really focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot of people. That's true. Hell, they kind of look like me. Do they? Curious. Sure, what, you don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Curious. Maybe subconscious killings. That's what fuels the true crime podcast, though? Yeah, well, they're not trying to fuel a true crime podcast, okay? Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan. And that's why I think Heartbreak is a misnomer. Oh, you've got something catchier in mind. I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills guaranteed no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. Their real signature is the bullets or the gun, it's their perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a mistake. Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, and now they got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah, probably threw the detectives for a loop, right? Based on what you said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed the room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary. I don't follow. That was the last bullet, their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. You make them sound like a child. Childish and cowardly. And two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. Your profile tell you all that? No, that part's just takes one to know one. So to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type in a city with 8-digit population. Well, good luck. I don't need luck, I only need more information. Well, I'm sure the city will be happy to provide you more resources. No, Morgan, I mean I need more crime scenes. Oh. Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies. Not very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. But getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Fair enough. Woof. Okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more, or sleep less, but harder. You think the higher threat count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more present than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. No hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. If you fall asleep face first on the table, I won't even take a picture. Okay, just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks in the mediums, we'll have moved on to the next sensation, and the police will have moved on to the cases they actually stand a chance of closing. It's what people do, but Emma is different. She'll set it aside, work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up, but in a private corner of a frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it, never finishing, but never quitting either, so I can't afford to take my eyes off of her. So as long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view. Or just kill her. I guess she wants a challenge. She's dead? No. She wouldn't just kill her. If she was gonna kill her, she would have killed her already, I feel like. You can feel Morgan seething. Title drop. Which means for a while, you're gonna be living with my friend for a while. For how long? I'm sorry, I don't know. There's no need to be that upset over it. My face barely moved. It may as well have with that blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy. Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on, it'll be fun. Really? Really, educational too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. You think Morgan is too prideful and likes the challenge, plus killing her would be too close to home? I don't think it'd be that close to home. The whole point is there's a billion random murders that she's already done. You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Personally, I think it's cruel to bring someone that flawed into the world. You're a criminal defense attorney, and we're at a crime scene. I think you can guess what happens next. I've never stolen anything that wasn't already compromised. Worked hard and the company will have you set for life, and after too. Can't tell you about how many musicians I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a fat signing bonus. So that's not just a lawyer job thing. You dress like a doorman on the weekends too. Wow, they give a whole preview for the next chapter. Compared to like determining fault, determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air. The company wheels don't stop spinning for anything. We can hope to just keep this quiet. We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. But it's a million times more likely than the alternative that Heartbreak could ever stop themselves from killing. Father said you owed him. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart, but when I take a job, I never half-ass it. This is so much reading. Oh my gosh. Oh, I do enjoy the game, but holy. Kind of needed if the episodes get released over time. I guess that's true. They need people to look forward to. Something. So you buy stuff like this. Oh no, it's just there, I guess. Bonus scenarios. What is this? You want to interview me? Oh. In the episode, there's a shopping cart on the phone. Oh, okay. Got it. It's very flattering, but aren't there more lively folks around here for you to question? I hadn't considered that. So I'm not your first choice. You are the first one who hasn't walked away. Come to think of it, I should probably. So what are your 3 sizes? Have you been opening with that? Should I not? You can get things like phone charms and case colors. I see. I thought it'd be in the menu, but I didn't realize it'd be on the phone. It's Morgan time. Okay. On High Roller? What? Neko Morgue. Try to pet the cat in episode 2. Okay. Interesting. Oh, there goes all my credits. Episode 0 doesn't have a High Roller. I see. Gotta get all those terms out of the way. Although, honestly, there's probably no reason to really do this. Likes coffee, toffee, hot couture. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. This like sunburns, dead pixels, and eye strain. Eggs Benedict. Plays chess, shogi, idol, savant stars. Sounds like a rhythm gotcha game. Cat person, yes. But it's one save, no reloading during a trial. Oh, I see. Likes high places, gambling, guns, nosy people. I already read. Wait. Oh. There's Morgan, and then there's Heartbreak. Likes high places, gambling, guns, nosy people. Dislikes mosey people, mud, and headphones. Hobbies: batting cages. Favorite dishes: babo tofu. Cannot carry a tune. Civil engineer. Airports: worn shoes for beds. Dislikes cabs, musicals, cashews. Favorite flowers are poppies. Whose bet is sizable and their luck is poor. Look at their occupation. Criminal defense attorney. Get it? Criminal / defense attorney, and then the criminal defense attorney. I get it.
And higher maximum on your hand bets. I see. Point out, do you think it'd be worth starting episode 1? Because obviously I wouldn't be able to finish it, right? You think it's worth it? Or do you think I should just not bother at this point if I'm not going to finish going through it? Have how long? It's like an hour and an hour and 20 minutes ish. So not like the most amount of time. You don't think I'd get anywhere relevant? Probably won't even make it the trial. I see. Yeah, I guess I'll probably just go through these interviews then, and then maybe I'll just call stream earlier today. Give myself a little more time to do things. How much of a cliffhanger do I want to end on? I'll probably just end it after going through these interviews then. Could I react to Streamer University? No, that takes like an hour or two, honestly. Probably not enough time for that either. Maybe just end stream earlier today. I think it should be fine. Do you have any pets? Afraid not. Would need 1 or 2 or 3 promotions for that kind of thing. Are pets that expensive? Well, if you care about them, maybe find a place close to the park. Have you ever owned any automated dependents like robot children? Not at the chance. Would you own one if you could? Maybe one of the little vacuum ones. Anything more complicated than that is. If you find the owner's manuals intimidating, there are video-based tutorials I can show you. I'm not worried about the ease of use, don't worry. When I say complicated, I mean, it's like what I said about pets. Fine to leave a goldfish in a tiny bowl. Time it takes to swim half a lap, you'll have forgotten what a fish first half looks like. Not a very tall hierarchy, it leads there, easy to please. But a cat? A dog? I don't want to be work thinking about how bored they are sitting at home. And today's ads are a lot smarter than dogs about most things. It's a very thoughtful perspective, Detective London. It's a moot point anyway. I need to get hit by a city bus to afford any of this new stuff Noble's selling. No, you're thinking of the sheltered generation. Sheltered as in sheltered upbringing, or shelter in place. There was a lot of uncertainty during their childhood, so when they grew up, they wanted surety, safety, stability. Just wanted to know that their heat would stay on in the winter, and their politics reflected that. But that was all before my time. The generation is a little more, well, Generation Zen. That's what they called us in their think pieces. Even-tempered, mentally strong, and more than a little cynical. You disagree? It wasn't a matter of mindfulness. We just grew up without false expectations. Our vision wasn't clouded with illusions about impossibilities like home ownership or retirements. We realized early on that we'd be working right up till we die. Detectives? Unrealistic expectations. Some people call that hope. To see your friends, your classmates drowning every day in that kind of mire, and then have to listen to people 3 times your age going about how enlightened youths today are. Gen Zen. That's not a name I'm particularly fond of. How long have you been in law enforcement? Too long. And how long have you been with the homicide department? Not that long by comparison. Sorry, don't mean to be overly vague. If you really want to know, I spent the bulk of my career over in Austin. Was it a different kind of homicide? Flashier, I'd say. Everyone jokes that homicide cases solve themselves in the city with this many cameras. Meanwhile, fraud and dissimple are so entrenched in tech arms race, they barely come up for air. But arson hasn't really changed much in the modern era. Fire's still good at destroying evidence. You can't expect the drone net to sweep in burden rubble and expect you to bring out the culprit's fingerprints and driver's license. There's a lot of legwork, a lot of interviewing. And since more than half the culprits we caught were burners helping Megs commit insurance fraud. I spent a lot of time making friends and enemies in high-rise corporate boardrooms. Megs? Just slang for mega corporations, which is also just slang. At what size does a corporation become mega? It's not really about gross revenue or how many countries you operate in. If you're big enough to crush people, you're a meg. An apex predator among apex predators, like the Otodus megalodon from the Miocene epoch. Hey, wait, is that where that comes from? So why are you working in the homicide department? What's that? Why'd you leave arson? The smoke. The smoke? Just got to the point where I couldn't stand the smell. Hence why he reacted to like the cigarette smoke, probably. I'm sure it's different, but still. Okay, you can start now that my desktop's censored. For the record, your full name is Farah Reyes. And how's that pronounced? Like how I just said it? Farah Reyes.
Thank you. Your birthday is October 19th. And how do you take your coffee? She makes you fetch the coffee. Figures. Wait, let me guess. Counselor Morgan takes her coffee black. No, decaf, like a real psychopath. Decaf, yes, sometimes with milk. Oh, this is the android that's gonna be going around. Nice, that's even worse. And you, detective? With 2 sugars and a bottle of water. Now that I've got this. You mean your eye? When did you have it modded? After I learned I was getting promoted to detective, and before I realized I was getting promoted to homicide. You regret it? No. Would have wanted it for work eventually, if it takes me a while longer to pay off than expected. Well, I'm hardly the only person my age walking around with death socketed onto them. I see, what are your likes? My likes? Pretty broad ass, don't you think? In that case, perhaps you find it easier to describe your dislikes? Small plates. Oh, I hate dinner by 1,000 cuts shit. Wait, what? I hate that dinner by 1,000 cuts shit, okay? I see. And I dislike cheap people and liars. That's right in your profile. And lawyers. Lawyers? They're smug, prideful. They bill by the minute, greed personified. Like their time is so goddamn important. They're annoying and pale and smug. Should I put down smug twice? What's the deal with the android? We don't know anything. That'll be in chapter 1, episode 1. So what do you like, detective? Do you have hobbies, areas of interest? Well, automotive history, maybe. Oh, could you say more about that? I guess I could talk about it a little bit. The following section has been altered from its original format. It has been edited for time, which is supposed to be a luxury version of I'm just gonna go past this. I'm just gonna keep going past this. I see. Do you own a car yourself? You're joking, right? I'd rather eat asphalt than buy an EV with my hard-earned money. Time and strong language. Oh. I believe that fills out your dislike section. So, what's your favorite drink? Dark and Stormy's pretty good. How do you make that? Ginger beer, rum, and a lot of lime juice. You putting together a recipe book or something? Who's your hero? Well, that one's easy. Detective Claus in London, of course. Oh. Should I relay your sentiments to him? I'm sure he'd love to hear them. Somehow I thought that you get the tone right. Very well, in that case, what are your 3 sizes? My what? The measurements for your bust, waist, and I'm not telling you that. Where the hell are you getting these questions from? I designed my interview process to extract all the same kinds of facts that most commonly listed online. On what websites? Open source, collaborative, community-focused databases. You mean like a wiki? Would you prefer to script this question? Tell you what, if you can find a single person who does answer that question, I'll give you mine down to the millimeter. Someone's gonna give her those answers. So this is like an offboarding thing, an exit interview? Oh no, him. An exit interview? I was thinking it was the kid. Yes, it is like that. Oh, well, that's sweet of Morgan, still worrying about me. How'd she know I'd be here? She didn't. Why are you here? Oh, hoping to get back some of my stuff that the police collected as evidence. Don't tell Morgan that, by the way. Is there something embarrassing among what they seized? No, it's just that I'm guessing as my lawyer. Is she still my lawyer? Well, as a lawyer, she probably know the exact right form to get this stuff back, but it's okay, I wanted to do it myself. Why is that? Conquering my fears, maybe, huh? Last time I came here, I was dragged in, strong-armed. Everything was going so fast I barely spoke. I didn't stand up for myself. If I had been able to stop and think things through clearly, well... Oh. I could have never done what Morgan did, but maybe I wouldn't have gotten myself dug so deep. It must have been very upsetting being accused of something so terrible. I'm sure you reacted just as well as anyone could be expected. Thanks, I think. My arm? No, it's not back yet. At this point, I might be better off getting an upgrade rather than waiting for my current model to get fixed. Is that allowed? Yeah, it is. Can't downgrade, can't trade in, can't opt out. But Hindi will let me upgrade at any time. Do you ever regret it? Getting modded? Sometimes. But I have a lot of regrets. Compared to some of them, my buyer's remorses. How do you deal with your buyer's remorse? Lately, I've been lying face down on the floor and exhaling. Just for 30 seconds, I count to 30. And you feel better afterwards? Yes. I mean, I've seen the protests, but I've never... There's a lot of pains being a modder. Makes sense a lot of people would have loud opinions, want them heard. But we all made a choice, all signed the papers. I guess that's just it, huh? Not all of us made the choice ourselves. I got modded to help my career. Didn't need to get modded just in order to have one. But a lot of people did and do. There was this guy who worked with us for 1 quarter. Valid, probably a vet. But didn't want to talk about it, so none of us asked. Probably valid response, to be honest. Good coworker, very gung-ho, cheery in a muscle-head kind of way. It was a physical job, and there was no slouches, but he wasn't just fit, he was cut and handsome. And so he kept showing up to work with more and more mods, all of them cosmetic. I didn't get it. What's he missing? What's a guy like that want to change about himself? Got offered full-time at the end of the contract, but he said he needs something that paid better. Turns out he blowed every paycheck on elective surgeons. Pal of mine in HR said he'd given his insurance info to 6 different clinics in a span of 4 weeks. Word is he hasn't even been using the pain pills. Sold them to some of the drivers for extra cash. The worst I've seen of it. Grafting, runaway, or plastophilia, whatever they're calling it now. But it's not the only time I've seen it. It's not like there's no incentive for it, because there's plenty of megs out there that see people hurting like that and think, there's an ideal worker. So you work for Morgan and you're, wow, lawyers must make more money than I realized. Wait, are you here to give me my bill? How much do I owe? You don't owe her anything. Her services were paid for by the state. I happen to be forgiven for handling any kind of financials due to ongoing dispute about what constitutes essential office supplies. I hear ya. Diane was always a money smart one. Pretty strict actually, unless you saw Fidget's tubby on the shelf. You could see her eyes light up, like could hear her huffing like she just won the lottery. They're ugly cute, babe. It's literally a boo-boo. And I would say, well, you're cute, babe. Believe it or not, she thought I was pretty suave. Truly Labubu's. Last one. You're gonna interview me here? You did say I need to practice asking better questions, but right now, because you said the police would be making us wait, so they feel more important for the next 20 minutes. Is there some more productive way we could spend that time? I was planning on napping. For 20 minutes? In the lobby of a police department? I can fall asleep anywhere. It's one of my many hidden talents. You're gonna write all this down? Could you start with your name for the record? Morgan. And your first name? You should know by now that no one calls me by my first name. That's something you have control over. Huh. She has no first name. I wouldn't want to force the issue. How long has that been the case? As long as I care to remember. Then what did your parents call you? The tumor. That was a joke. Oh, maybe we should have started you off with someone a little more your speed. Who better to start with than you? Someone who likes talking about themselves. You talk about yourself as much as anyone else does, or more. I tell people things about myself. It's different. Because you're lying? Now you're getting it. It's not very polite to lie. On the contrary, telling the truth is usually rude. I'm not sure that your clients would appreciate that sentiment. We're not talking about my clients. We're talking about manners. Doesn't seem like a joke. You can't tell with this psychopath. We were supposed to be talking about you. Look, the sooner you learn this, the better. When people ask how you are or what you've been up to, they're not looking for anything that's nearly as so heavy as the truth. They're just following the template, and the polite thing to do is for you to follow the template as well. Here, let's practice. Hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Way too late. The whole point is to be on autopilot. Now you're forced them to grab the wheel, check the mirrors, and no one's ever going to be grateful for the extra workload. You can be very cynical about these kind of things at times. I'm just trying to teach. I'm just trying to tell you that people are fundamentally lazy. So if you want to be a social butterfly like me, try not to make them work too hard. Fundamentally lazy? Do you think people are fundamentally good too? Obviously. If they weren't, they wouldn't be so easy to trick. So are you planning on answering any of my questions about yourself? I've still got time to kill. Fire away. Will you be honest? I wouldn't want to be rude. When is your birthday? Wait, you're not trying to guess my passwords, are you? I would never commit identity fraud. Not the worst way of going about it, actually. December 26th. The 26th, that's almost Christmas. But almost Christmas means it's not Christmas. Your insights are always so original. Did you receive your presents on your birthday or on Christmas? What do you mean? Did you not celebrate Christmas in your family? We did. Did your parents give you presents on the 25th or the 26th? What are presents? Well, I got Christmas presents on the Christmas, and I got birthday presents on my birthday. Ah, that's how you're supposed to do it. Obviously. Are all your questions going to be this strange? What is your favorite color? Are all your questions going to be this juvenile? If you prefer something weightier, do you volunteer? No. Do you donate? Yes. What causes do you donate towards? Endangered wildlife? What's with the face? It's on auto renewal. I just haven't canceled it yet. But she's aware that she hasn't canceled it yet. You've mentioned a mentor figure before. No way I ever call her a mentor. A busybody, maybe? World record holder for billable hours spent under the influence, perhaps. Or just, you know, the cougar from hell. If she had rubbed off on me in any way, I'd have hives. I see. Is she a smoker? Do you volunteer is a weighty question, is it? I feel like you can just say no. No, I don't volunteer. Lastly, do you know your 3 sizes? I do. Will you tell me? That's private. You value your privacy very highly, don't you? Well, like everyone else doesn't value it enough. Water's rising, the world's getting smaller, literally less real estate to go around. You're saying it's not very weighty. Oh. Okay, I see. And everything's connected to everything else. These days, you're just wanting some time, space to yourself is considered selfish or worse. Only the guilty have something to hide. I don't like that phrase. Laws like the MLB Act have made anonymity and privacy are luxuries. Privileges reserved for the privileged. And if anyone below that tax bracket tries to claw away a little bit of it for themselves, well, it can only be because they're guilty, right? Is that why you became a criminal defense attorney? To defend innocent people's innocence? That's private.
Probably get a heartbreak interview at the very end. It's funny how they just call her heartbreak, even though, like, obviously she's done other murders, but that's just what she's gonna get attributed to at this point.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and call stream for today. It's a little bit shorter, but it seems like it's just a good spot. I also think what am I gonna call it? I'm gonna call it Dead on Arrival. Why is the screen shaking? Oh. Also, welcome to the end of stream, Darky. Why did I go back into this? Definitely a most high-profile series of kills. The most high-profile series of kills. I guess that's fair. What if? And tell you if you're being crazy here. Okay, yeah, keep going. I went a little longer. One game of TFT. No, you have to understand. I have hit the ideal ring I'm trying to hit in TFT right now. Because I am already Emerald 170 LP, and there's no guarantee I could properly surrender in time to like guarantee a fourth. So it's like we are at the ideal spot in TFT that we are aiming to reach. I'm going to set an Emerald 170 LP, head to the next set, and hit Diamond for the first time ever. And I've also already done all my missions for the week, so it's like my weekly missions for TFT. So it's like, yeah, don't really care to. Let's see, what time is it? So it's 4:30 right now. I have to head out by 5:30. I hate you. Potentially could be true, but that's private, so you'll never know. Anyway, we're gonna go on end stream today. Let's figure out where we're going to, I suppose. / raid browser. I hate everyone. No, that's private. We don't know. Could be true. Could be false. You never know. We could go here. I don't know if this person's ending. This person's ending. So we could go here. Yeah, we'll go here, I guess. All right, we're gonna go ahead and raid out to Zakari. He is currently doing a lad versus lad. It's a Brovivo row, basically. But he's doing a lad versus lad with Dustpan, actually, who you also might have seen in chat. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it for me today. You thought you were special because we were special. You were special because of the name we shared. I'm sure there's a lot of Thomases out there. And I assure you, none of them are special. Anyway, thank you all for watching today's stream. I would appreciate it if you copy your message. Copy one if you're not subbed. Just us two? Oh, my bad. I didn't realize there's no others. You can copy one if you're not subbed. The rest if you are subbed. Otherwise, I'll be back again tomorrow. We do have Valorant scrims, so I'll be streaming probably more towards the evening. I'll figure it out, though. I do want to react to another episode of Streamer U by tomorrow. Hopefully we catch you all in the next stream, and until next time, everybody, have a good day, evening, morning, wherever you are, I suppose.